Welcome back, Augmented Ones. Peter here from Augmented Naturally. Starting off with Week 30. We're going into all the comings and goings for this week that we know of at the time. Niantic loves to drop random hints and little things throughout the week. Also, events will change up from time to time, but we're going to get you everything that you can, everything that we physically can while we're here. We're going to be going over a few things for PvP, a few things for raids, shiny Pokemon, and the specific events that we know of at the time, and a few things that you may not think about when you just read the basic information. So we're going to go into a little more detail here. So first off, Tuesday, the Spotlight Hour. They gave you a fairly easy one, that way you didn't burn yourself out right after GoFest happened. But if you do need that extra XP, it's available for you. If you are building that extra XP, make sure you're keeping an eye on your medals, because as we know, XP will be part of the formula for leveling up past level 40. But after that, they haven't given us the exact information for everything. But you do want to keep a close eye on those medals of yours, because those medals will be vital towards leveling up past level 40. They haven't said specifically about that, but we can take some hints from Niantic's other games, like Ingress, as they require XP or action points, AP, in addition to medals and tiers of medals in order to get past a certain level threshold. But that's just something you can keep in the background. Do as you need, do as you will, but you don't have to burn the candle at both ends for that. Next up for this week will be the Raid Hour for Kyurem. This is your last chance for a Raid Hour with Kyurem, as next week will be Rayquaza for the Raid Hour. We'll go into that more detail later. But Kyurem raids will end at the end of the month, because Rayquaza starts with Dragon Week on Friday. The other thing you want to keep in mind is if you're still looking for a Larvitar from research boxes, you have until at least, unless they change it, at least 1 p.m. Pacific time on August 1st. It's always the beginning of the month. It's always 1 p.m. Pacific time. And you have until then to claim your reward. Once you claim the reward, even if you don't open the Pokemon Encounter box until after 1 p.m. Pacific time, it will still be Larvitar. So make sure that you keep an eye out on California time, Pacific Standard Time, or right now it might be Pacific Data Time, Daylight Time. We'll go with that. Either way, you want to keep an eye out on that, because August 1st it will switch to something else, of which we do not know just yet. But we'll go over that with the next Augmented Sync. Or maybe on the podcast. Stay tuned. Also ending this week, it's your last chance to submit a local small business for Niantic's business recovery efforts. All you have to do is go onto Niantic's website, submit a local business, whatever information you have, if there is enough input and enough response, and the business wants to become one of those locations as well, then Niantic will gladly give them a sponsored Pokestop or gym, depending on the location and other prospects. And it's a huge boon to businesses, especially for players that would be able to see said Pokestops or gyms halfway across the town, especially if there isn't anything else around there. So you have until the 31st at 11:59 Pacific Standard Time, most likely. But get that in as soon as possible. This is your last chance. We've already nominated Ill Exotics in Philadelphia, a local small business dealing with plants and reptiles. If you're looking for any of them, check them out. Ill Exotics on Instagram, and check them out on their website if you want to do a little online shopping too. Hashtag not actually sponsored, but still. They're cool guys. Now, like we alluded to, and you probably heard about it as well, with the Ultra Unlocks from GoFest, it starts Dragon Week. Now, dragons are definitely a hot commodity, so you want to be as active as possible with this event, especially considering that all of the shinies will be available for all dragon Pokemon that are currently available. All shinies are currently available for the ones alluded to in this event. The things you want to keep in mind are the dragon Pokemon that will be out in the wild will be Alolan Executor, Horsey, Dratini, Trapinch, Swablu, Bagon, and Gibble. They'll be out in the wild, shinies will be available. Make sure you Pineapple as many as possible, especially if you're looking for those evolutions or those medals. As we've alluded to and talked about before, medals are going to be vital towards leveling up to the next levels. We're going to try and release as many guides as possible when it comes to it. But get those catches in, get those hatches. They're going to be available in 7-kilometer eggs. Mainly of note, Dratini, Swablu, Trapinch, Bagon, Gibble, and Dino. They haven't mentioned Axew. So he might be out and about. Might be, might not be. Fingers crossed it might be, but in order to do the amount of spawns that they're actually doing right now, they're going to get these ones out and about. That way you get more chances at shinies, probably. We'll see. Dragons are rare at that. But with this event going on, Dino's shiny is released as well. It goes from a blue and black coloration to a green and black coloration. Still full on for the resistance, but a good shiny is a good shiny. Also, as we alluded to earlier, Rayquaza will be in legendary raids, the 5-star raids. And this event runs until Friday, August 7th. Which means Rayquaza will also be in the raid hour on Wednesday next week. We'll remind you about it later when it comes up, but just so you know, get out there as much as possible, hit some raids. If you don't have a shiny Rayquaza yet, it is a fan favorite, especially because the shiny is golden black. So it is an on-point shiny. Well welcome back in raids for a lot of people. A Rayquaza raid was actually one that I actually dinged level 40 for. Level 40 because of. And luckily for me, when I caught it, it was actually a good IV, so I just powered that guy up, so. As we were talking about earlier, if you're working on that dragon medal still, or if you want to get it to, say, 500 or 1,000, something like that, make sure that you Pineapple as much of them as possible, and every 4th catch of just the base tier one will net you a evolution to their 2nd tier, which is a definite dragon type. Trapinch may be a little more common, and it is only a ground type, but by Brava, the 2nd stage for Trapinch is a dragon ground type. So you can just stick with that and then trash it. So, depending on how much candy you have lying around, or whether you want to stock it all up. Swablu, 400 candy for a general evolution of them. Unless you get swarmed bird style with Swablu coming after you, don't worry about evolving them for that dragon medal. It's a possibility if you have like over 3,000 or something like that. But otherwise, it's not necessarily worth it. Horsey, if you're in a water type biome, or if you have just a ton of Horsey candies lying around, Horsey will require 124 candies from Horsey to Kingdra. Just keep in mind as well that Seadra to Kingdra will require a dragon scale. And then the 100 candies or so. Then again, you get 1 candy for evolving that Pokemon So, give or take, yeah. 124 if you're going from Horsey to Kingdra. Anyway. Basically, catch everything you can. Pineapple, do as you will. Keep an eye out for those shinies. Next up for this week, Go Battle League started back up. Season 3 has now begun. Make sure you get in, get those battles done, do what you can. Remember that the walking requirement has been removed. Keep in mind that anytime the season resets, it is the wild, wild west of Pokemon in there. So you'll be facing experienced trainers, inexperienced trainers, people that are around your same tier. So don't make any big decisions until you get past probably about rank 5 or so right now. Don't sink too much dust into a certain one unless you know for a fact the PvP rank is really good on it. And just get in there and do some battles. Keep in mind that the MMR ranking doesn't kick in until about rank 7, which means the first couple tiers and levels of Pokemon, it'll just be based off a win. So from there, we're going to call it for this Augmented Sync episode. Remember, like we always say, good balls, good calls, good luck. Stay augmented, my friends. And make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know if we helped you out, if we missed anything. We'll try and get things fixed up, and we'll learn for the next time. Don't forget to share us with your local communities, that way they can stay informed as well, in a somewhat quick and easy format. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next one.